So I had the pleasure of speaking with a brand owner on a catch-up call today, just now actually. And one of the conversations, which was an interesting conversation, was, do brands really need paid ads agencies? And, it wasn't a conversation where it was like a back and forth thing where he was like, we don't need a paid ads agency. It was just a genuine question that he asked because he said that he had a lot of other business owner brands that were asking him the same question and he didn't really know how to go about it. So, I'm someone that likes to be the devil's advocate. And I was like, okay, what do you think your points are and what do you think my points are? And I thought I'd make a video on this because I think me personally, I'm someone who thinks that a brand will succeed whether or not they work with an agency. However, what I will say is about 2 weeks ago, one of the things that we do in the agency is we look back at our churn list. We don't really have that much of a big churn list simply because we don't really work with that many brands. We are very specific and very picky with the brands that we work with and come in. We only work with about 10 to 15 brands on a monthly basis. I was taking a look at the churn list. One thing that I noticed is that I haven't really seen a brand that, once they left us kind of like went to the moon or just totally succeed or blast. Usually the two things that I kind of see when a brand leaves us is they do the whole jump ship. They start going from one agency to another, or they just end up, exiting a brand or selling the brand or just completely stop. But again, so I do want to make clear that that isn't me saying that, the brands that we have needed us or the brands that we have, without our help have ended up failing. We're the reason why as an agency, why this ended up happening. No. Agencies are not here to make you money. What we're here to do as an agency, as a paid ads agency, as a growth agency, we're here to help you fast track your success and amplify your brand. Because at the end of the day, what ads do is ads are an amplification of what your business is internally and what you're currently doing right now. So essentially, if you have a very good brand with good systems and good quality product and product market fit, paid ads will come in, will amplify that as a business as a whole, and you will do great. The exact same thing will happen if you have a rubbish business or you don't have a product market fit, and you're not creating a community, you're not creating enough content for your brand. What paid ads will do is it will amplify that. So the first thing that someone does, me, myself included, that asked my wife this, most people do this, is when they see an ad for the first time for a particular brand, what's the first thing you do? The first thing you do is you scroll through an ad. If you like the product market fit, tick. The next thing you do is you click on the profile. You go on the brand's profile. Now, if that profile isn't up to date, up to scratch, if it looks drop shipping, all these little factors and variables that have an effect on the trust of a consumer, that is an amplification of your brand and your business. And one of the things that annoys me a lot is, and I see this so much over the agency space, is agencies saying that it was because of them this brand is so successful. In their case studies, they say like, we took this brand, I usually say we helped this brand, but I don't think it's true when any particular agency owner says that they're the reason why this brand became successful. I think that's utter BS. Because at the end of the day, from what I know and what I understand when we come to what we do as an ad agency or a growth agency, most if not all success tales are due to the brand's positioning and foundational success that they already have and have built as a brand and as a business. That's why it becomes so much easier for us to be able to scale and work with brands that are already doing a decent amount of revenue. Because the better the foundation of a brand, the better and easier it is for us to be able to help them scale. And the one thing I was telling our client and business owner just now as well, and if you're listening to this and you're a brand owner, is don't put all your eggs into one basket. And from the marketing perspective, and what I mean by that is don't put too much pressure on the agency, because at the end of the day, like I've been saying, it's an amplification of the business. So if you're now turning to the agency and you're saying, what's wrong or why are we not bringing in sales? Yes, there's a lot of structure that goes into running ads in terms of making sure that we have the right creatives, the strategies and everything. Again, it goes back to what you were doing internally in terms of being able to getting more revenue from the recurring side, your email marketing, your social, your organic. And from one business owner to another, I think one of the main things that I will say is having that extreme accountability as a business owner, because I have it as well within my agency. And what I mean by that is, as a business owner, or if you're an agency owner and you're listening to this, again, that doesn't mean that you should throw all of the blame onto the business. That doesn't mean that the business is responsible for the growth and you just come in and you spend some money on some ads. No, you as well should hold yourself accountable to be able to help the business in terms of the amplification of whatever it is that they're doing, which is what we do. We come in, and as a growth partner, we also help you understand how to actually scale your business. So going back, if you are an agency owner, make sure that you're choosing your clients properly and you're not just bringing in any brand that can't get results. Number two is you can't just be speaking about ads every single week when you're meeting up with clients. You can't just be speaking about ROAS and CTR and CPMs. It needs to be more focused around everything as a whole and as a business. This is a business owner speaking every week with their marketing team, the marketing department, the marketing arm, on how they can actually, in an efficient manner, speed through and break through all the bottlenecks that, you know, they have as a business. Which then leads me to saying, you know, I see so many marketing agency owners that just don't have marketing fundamentals for them to be able to work with brands. They don't have the marketing foundation of actually scaling a brand. It goes back to being misinformed, because now you have brand owners that come to us and say, oh, well, you know, I shouldn't really be spending that much money on ads anymore because, you know, my results have gone down. And I'm like, well, where have you got that information from? And it's obviously sources, not good sources, that are teaching people on bad information that they then go and learn, and they now create this reality of a business off of bad information. So I do recommend finding your scaling USP as an agency, whether it be the creative side or, you know, the growth side or the ad side, and just using that as a core competency as an agency. For us, it's obviously marketing fundamentals that help Shopify stores scale, because that's the experience that we have. I was fortunate enough to come into the marketing field 5 years ago, and my first ever client was a fashion brand, was a Shopify store brand. And then ever since then, obviously with the case studies that we've built, it's just, you know, ingrained into what it is that we do now. So when I do speak about case studies, and you'll find lots of case studies of mine on YouTube, I do try and be humble about, you know, the success that we've had, because at the end of the day, success was achieved by both sides and not just us, not just them. You know, it is a working thing. It is a combination of efforts from, you know, what they're doing internally for them to have a great fundamental, and what we're doing to amplify that. In terms of us, in terms of like churning clients, our main thing is just having great relationships with our brands. We're not an agency that works with 20, 30, 50 brands at the same time. I, as the agency owner and the CEO, still handle client, even though we have a client success manager, I still handle some of the client communications, because I personally have good relationships with all of our brand owners, because business owner to business owner is kind of that have that mutual connection, which is why in terms of the churn that we have, it isn't that bad. And one of the things that I will explain as well is, when it comes to a good agency and a bad agency, I think you really need to be able to, if you're a brand owner, just make sure you're asking the right questions. When you're looking for a new agency, make sure you're asking the questions that need to be asked for you to be able to analyze whether they're good or not. Usually I would say 90% now of agency owners are inexperienced and don't really have an understanding of marketing fundamental for them to be able to scale brands and give advice. And just to finish up, so when I was speaking about that with the business owner, he was talking about accountability, and he was saying that one of the things that he lacks in terms of a business owner is the accountability side, and that, you know, moving forward, what we're going to be doing with him is having a more closer relationship for us to be able to work as his marketing department, for us to be able to scale him. So yeah, because at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to build long-lasting relationships with our brands, and have a roster of brands that we've taken from whatever number it is that they started to 7, 8, 9 figures, and that's what I want to do. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. There are lots of other videos on my channel that I would love for you to go and check out, especially my last video. So yeah, I will see you in the next video.